Infertile and welcome back to my channel. Sorry I haven't been on here as much, but I have been so sick the past few weeks, but I am doing so much better now, so I'm so excited to get back into filming. In today's video it's going to be very different, I feel like, from what I've talked about before. I've always done health updates on here, but I've never really talked about infertility, and that's something that I struggle with. So I put a questions tab on Instagram. If you want to follow me, here's my Instagram, and I asked you guys to send in questions about infertility and I would answer them the best I can based on my experience. I know that there's a lot of types, I know there's lots of different types of infertility, but I'm just going to share mine. I'm going to get straight on into it. By the way, if my makeup looks weird, I literally threw it on. It took 5 minutes because I didn't want to look like a fool. Like, I honestly have looked like a monster. It's been fun, love that for me, but yeah, I haven't looked the best lately just because I've been so unwell, so I knew I had to put makeup on for this video. I'm gonna get straight on into the questions now, and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up anyway. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna get the questions now. How does being infertile make you feel? So at the very beginning, now I found out around 16, 17 that I probably couldn't ever have kids, and then over the years I have realized how, and like we've gotten more answers and everything. But at the start it was extremely hard for me just because I have my life planned out somewhat. I'm not like one of those people who need to know like the next 5 years, but I do have it like kind of sketched out, and I have never seen my life without a baby, without having kids. Marriage and like kids are two of the things that like I really hope to have in life. So obviously at the start, when I knew that that wouldn't be possible to have it naturally, it broke my heart, because obviously like if you've dreamed of being a mom, like you've just dreamed of being a mother, and to have that taken away from you, like one of the things that only a woman has, was extremely hard. I feel like it took me a long time to actually accept it, and I feel like I still haven't accepted it, but I've learned how to deal with it in a much better way than I did, because I used to just cry about it, and like it's a really hard thing to think about when you're young, because you're not trying for a baby. Like I wasn't anyway. I wasn't like trying for a baby or anything like that, but it's like the chance is gone. Like a part of your future that you always thought would happen is like gone. It's been taken from you. So I think that was like the hardest part. In all honesty, it's gotten easier to deal with over the years, but it's still hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's never going to be easy, but I think at the moment I'm so happy within myself and I'm happy with my life, so I'm not thinking about kids yet. And I think that it's going to hurt me more down the line when I try and actually conceive and like want to be pregnant, and I see everyone around me pregnant. That's going to be harder. But since I'm only 20 now and I'm not even thinking about that yet, it's not been as hard, I guess. When the time is right, would you be afraid to tell your future partner about your infertility? So I think what she means is like, would I wait to tell my future partner about my infertility? Like, would I do it when the time's right? I will tell my future partner if I think I am going to have a relationship with someone. I will let them know before I'm in that relationship, because I feel like I'd be lying to them if they didn't know I was infertile, because I feel like that's a huge part of a relationship, is obviously looking to the future, kids and everything like that. And even if I wasn't serious with someone, I would still want them to know that, so they know what they're getting themselves into, because I feel like what would be the point in being with someone a while and like invest in feelings and then turn around to them and saying, oh, by the way, like I can't have kids? Like that's a huge bomb to put on a relationship. So I think I would just have to tell them straight away, just because I wouldn't feel good holding that from them. And you know what, if they're meant to be, they'll accept that. I know that a lot of people feel like when they're infertile it means that they're never going to find anyone else, but the amount of people who are infertile and the amount of people who can accept that, there's so many. So don't be scared of that. I used to be really scared of that. So yeah, I will definitely tell my future partner as soon as possible, because I would not want to keep this secret. Are you completely infertile, or is there a small chance you could conceive naturally? So this is a tough question, because I have went through years of chemo, and I think this is why people think I'm infertile. It's not the only reason, it's actually one of the lesser reasons for why I'm infertile. But chemo does ruin your chances of being able to get pregnant in the future. It causes a lot of patients who've been on chemo to never be able to conceive or have infertility. But I am also dealing with years of chemo damaging my body, and then I'm also dealing with my pituitary tumor. Basically, there's a tumor on the part of my brain that controls your sex hormones. So I do not make any hormones, which means I can't ovulate, I can't produce, I can't like I can't really create eggs, like, so there would be probably no chance of me being able to get pregnant myself because of those reasons. I literally don't make any hormone. The only reason I get a period every month is because I force a period by taking the pill. So I'm on the pill, and the pill gives you the hormones that I don't make. It's giving me those as a replacement, and the only reason I'm really on the pill because I also don't produce growth hormone because the tumor is also on that hormone. So there's actually like not bone growth in the pill, but there's like a hormone in it that can protect your bones. So that's really the only reason I'm on it. And a period every month is not real. Like, it's not actually because I ovulate or anything like that. It's not like a normal period. It's not for that reasoning. It's literally forced from the pill stimulating, but there's nothing really happening. I hope that makes sense. It's really hard to explain, but I'm infertile because of my tumor and also because of chemo. So there's like two things that are really hard. So it would be extremely hard for me to ever get pregnant. I just don't think it could happen. I've been told it couldn't. I always have like a little bit, you know, in my mind being like, well, maybe, who knows? And you know what, who knows? Because in the next 10 years, technology could be so much more advanced. We don't know. But for now, I'm completely infertile and there's absolutely no way of me getting pregnant. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects my fertility also. How do you deal with it? This is interesting because when I was 12 years old, I got a cyst taken off of my left ovary and it had burst and tried to poison my womb. So I had pretty bad surgery then. I was really sore and I had to get surgery very quick. I was actually in hospital for Christmas. That was a few years ago. So I was never diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, but I have had a cyst, and that could be another reason why they can never find my left ovary in scans. Like, it's impossible to find it. It's like there's such little stimulation going on. But for the question, I just wanted to share, by the way, that I had a cyst as well. But for this question, she said, how do you deal with it? So I kind of look at other options, and that's what helps me deal with it. Like, there's an option of adoption, there's options of a possible surrogate if I was ever to be able to like force eggs to make an embryo. Like, there is options, but I think the one I'm leaning towards the most is adoption, because I don't think my body can make any sort of valuable egg, and I don't think I'll ever be able to do that kind of thing. So for now, I'm leaning towards adoption, and that kind of helps me in my mindset where I'm like, okay, you will have kids, Chantel, you're going to adopt. It doesn't matter if it's not like the traditional way. You're still going to have kids. You're still going to get the life you thought you'd have. So that kind of helps me to get through it. Also, the support around me is like incredible. There's so many people in my family who, you know, are always there for me when I need to talk about it, and I just talk and I'm open when I don't feel good about it, because there is days where I'm like, oh my god, I'm infertile. Like, obviously it's really annoying and it's like heartbreaking, but at the same time, if you have good support around you, it helps you so much. Okay, this is another good one. Did you look into the option of getting your eggs frozen before treatment? So I never knew that chemo made you like infertile, or it could harm your possibilities of pregnancy. So as I was learning about the tumor and how that was making me infertile, as soon as I had heard like that you can be infertile from chemo, also I really wanted to try and save some eggs so that I could freeze them. But the egg retrieval came up and it was going to be happening. We literally went to an appointment and we, you know, sat down. We were talking about all the injections I'd have to do to try and get some eggs, and then my surgeon said that I was just too far into chemo, but I was also like too fragile at the time to be able to freeze my eggs. Like, I had a vulva tumor, so down there obviously they weren't able to go in to collect the eggs because there was a lot going on. And I don't think I've ever talked about the vulva tumor. My friend Jade talks about it a lot more, and she's actually given me the confidence to talk about mine, because I just always felt like it was a big deal, and it's really not. Like, but that's the reason why they couldn't go in and get the eggs. Yeah, I wasn't able to freeze eggs, unfortunately. Do you ever think you'll go down the road of IVF route? By the way, I love you so much. I love you too. So with IVF, I don't know, like, if that was an option, if I could possibly make valuable eggs, if it was an option at all, I would definitely do it. So I don't know if it's a possibility for me. As I said, there's going to be advances in the future, so hopefully if I am viable for it, I will definitely try IVF, but if not, then it is what it is. How has infertility affected your plans for ever having a family? And that's kind of what I talked about before. It's affected my whole mindset, because obviously I'm probably not going to be having a child naturally. It's gonna change up everything completely, but hopefully my future partner will be accepting of that, and I know that I'll always be very honest. I'll just talk about it a lot, and if I probably need counselling in the future, I would think, to kind of just get through it, because as I said, in the future I'm going to actually want to be pregnant, so that's going to be harder, because right now I don't want to be pregnant, but in the future I will, so that's going to be harder on me, because I'll realise that I actually can't have kids. So I think at that time I'm probably going to deal with it more. At the minute I'm doing okay with it. Like, I feel like I'm fairly positive about the whole thing. But yeah, it does affect like your future thoughts about family, of course, but again, there's adoption and there's just other options for me, so maybe that's what is right. Is it tough coming to terms with the fact that you may never have a child? Again, it's really tough. I feel like a lot of people think that it doesn't faze me, and it definitely does. Like, of course it phases you. If you've always seen yourself having a child in the future, then it's going to phase you when you realise that you can't. And again, I think in the future it's going to phase me more. It's going to be harder to get through, because I'm going to realise that I can't. But you know, never say never. I always keep that in my heart. Who knows? I found out over 4 years ago that I will struggle to have kids. Tried a few things and have failed. How do you feel? Oh wow. That, like, so many people honestly just deal with infertility. It's very hard. And when you try different things and they fail, I bet that's just so much harder, and I think I'm going to go through that in my life, and it'll be hard when it comes. But at the minute I'm trying not to like dwell on all of these negative future plans, like, because I think that it's all going to work out in the way that it intended to. So if I was not meant to have kids, I was not meant to have kids, and I will definitely adopt. Like, that's such a huge thing on my heart right now. I feel like even if I was able to have a child somehow of my own, I would still want to adopt, because I just think there's so many kids out there who don't have any parents, and I would love to be that for them. Okay, so God, that was a bit emotional, to be honest. That's as much as I'm going to go into it today. If you have more infertility questions, leave them down below. This is part one of my Q&A series. I am going to be doing another Q&A that's going to be going up as well, not on fertility, but on something else. So this was the first part of my little series that I wanted to do, of answering questions about certain aspects of life and just sharing and spreading more awareness on the illness that I have. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the post notifications on by clicking the little bell beside the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.